So let me just get to.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
Okay,
We're live. Yes, how are you, ladies?
I'm all
It's
right.
Very,
Just
yeah,
yeah.
very well. Yeah.
Oh, glad you
Asmi
fall.
was just saying that she had her
Christmas
family
party
get together
yesterday.
yesterday. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Have you the football one? That's it. Yeah. Have you guys got whatever you need to sort out for Christmas? Because it's around the corner, isn't
I'm
it?
pretty much done getting gifts and that kind of stuff. That
Yeah.
that's all
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
That's
That's
all
all
done.
done. How about you, Catherine?
Um, I'm 80% there. I'm 80% there. I finished the other 20% today, but
Yes.
like Aspi, we had our family thing yesterday, which was really beautiful because I knew my son, one of my boys, had a new girlfriend and he'd been keeping her in hiding for over a year. And she has
Mm,
two children and
mm,
they came and it was really wonderful. They're such beautiful kids, they're so funny and there's just something really delightful about because my son, it's taken a while to settle back
mm,
into another relationship. So
mm,
I don't know, it just really it made Christmas. It really made Christmas
Oh, that's
this year.
nice.
So yeah, it
mm,
was.
mm,
That's
I couldn't
nice.
believe because they're Japanese kids, they're relatively quiet, but
mm,
the son was real character and kept us all laughing. So
mm, mm.
I think I've got a feeling I've got another two grandkids, and we didn't have to go through all the effort.
Yeah.
So I'm happy. I'm quite happy to be honest with you. Yeah, because Christmas is an awkward time for everyone.
No, no, but
Yeah,
it's family time, but it's can also
yeah,
be one of the most stressful times of the
yeah,
year.
I
yeah,
Because
can.
usually you have the yearly issues that people have been through.
yep,
In the countries like here, we have bills that have
Mm-hmm.
to come off, but you also have to put aside money for gifts. And
yeah.
then you have people gifting you, and you feel like, oh my
Mm-hmm.
goodness, what am I gonna do about it? You need to gift back as well.
Yeah.
And for us who have extended families as well, you
Mm.
have to think about, right, my auntie, my uncle, you've got
Well,
to
like the
get
family
all of
Chris,
those.
the
Yeah,
the
yeah.
family Christmas party I went to yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of an unspoken rule. You only give gifts to the kids under 18, and
Okay.
then we have
Oh,
like a family grab bag gift that everyone brings
that's
one
nice.
gift, and we
Yeah,
Okay.
play a little game on who gets what gifts.
Okay, so that's
That's what we do.
nice. So that helps at least to keep
Yeah.
everyone here happy. And
Yes.
also Secret Santa kind of
Yeah.
thing where
We
you,
do
you
that at
choose
work.
one person and yeah. So that's really good. I must say thank you so much for my Christmas gift, Aspi. That was
You're
lovely.
welcome.
Yeah.
yeah.
You couldn't have given me a better one than you did.
Very
Thank
royal.
you. Yes, Royo. And
You're
I'm
very
wearing
thoughtful.
one courtesy of Catherine. I'm still wearing this. This was
You're
last
still wearing
Christmas's
it.
gift. Yeah, Francis
That's
Page
great.
Media T-shirt. How are
Yeah.
we? Looking all
Oh.
gleaming, isn't it?
Well, I've got a feeling it may have been a bit bigger because I looked
Yeah.
at your photo recently and I thought, because you look like you're quite tall on camera, but when I looked at your photo, I thought, no, I've got a feeling he's actually a bit shorter than I first imagined,
No, no,
So
it fits
I was
perfectly.
worried. Does it? Oh, great.
No, it
Well,
it
I'm going to be
it's
honest with you. The last presents that I'm doing today are da-da! And I'm going to take a leaf out of Aspie's book and I'm going to let someone else do the delivery because the time frames in Australia are horrendous. They're really
mm,
bad. Yeah,
mm,
so
mm.
they're my last ones today. So I've because it wasn't just the family, but I also caught up with a friend, and we spent half the day eating, and we swapped gifts, and Oh my gosh, the last few days are so. I'm having a day home too, but I'm going to do everything online. Aspie, you're
Mm,
an inspiration.
I
mm.
try.
Very
You're an
organized lady
inspiration.
Aspe is, isn't
Thank
it?
you.
Yeah,
She's got all her things sorted. She's already talking
yeah,
about that next year's visit,
yeah.
you know,
I'm
to the
Yeah.
relying on
UK.
her. I'm
Hotels
relying on
sorted,
her.
places
Yeah,
she's gonna be visiting all sorted. Aspe, you're on the
I
ball. You
try.
are.
you
Yes,
I
are.
yeah.
You are
try.
the official
R-
trip
right.
planner.
Should
You're the trip planner.
Oh, she is. Can we
Yeah.
take a moment and say hello to our friends in the
Yes.
comments? I've got Lisa,
Yes.
Lady of the Lake, Foxy, Stedman. Thank you guys for joining us. The rest that are not showing up just yet, Sarah Febritas, another popular one. Hello, Sarah. Merry Christmas and
Hi,
Happy New Year to
everyone.
us all. Thank you. Thank you so much. Truly appreciate the time you set aside to come and listen to these chitty chatty conversations here. Royal News. What are we like, ladies? Right, so what has been going on? I know we haven't come on for a long time
No, we
because,
haven't.
yeah, as you can see, a lot has been going
Yeah.
on here with work. There, Catherine, you've been doing a lot of gardening stuff and supporting communities. Well done, by the way, Catherine, for your great
That's a
work.
nice thing to do, Catherine.
Mm, yeah, you are. You know, not so many people dedicate a lot of service to their communities like you do, Catherine. Really, really thank you for that.
Thank you.
So we had Prince William take Prince George to that
I saw
charity.
that.
That was so sweet of him to do
Hmm.
that. And Prince George, oh my goodness, he's grown, hasn't he? Huh?
Yeah. He's a
He's
preteen
going,
now. I think he's 12.
he's 12 now. He's grown.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
such a handsome young man.
Yeah.
He's already acting like he's the royal who is ready to sit on
Hmm.
the throne, and in many ways.
But you know what? It gives me memories when Princess Diana used to bring William and
Yes,
Harry
yes,
to certain charities.
yes.
So
Round about the same age that
yes,
that
yes.
Diana took William to that charity
Hmm.
back in 1993,
Hmm.
and so Prince of Wales, who's gonna be a future king very soon, uh, capitalizes on this same moment, this same time frame to, I mean, to take George to this charity, just to do a bit of a replay of the time he was taken to that charity by his mom, Princess Diana. Such a very, very thoughtful sort of move, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
and then the signing on that card, exactly where, you know, Princess Diana made William sign on the card, and just below it, George signs on that. I thought that was very, very
Hmm.
pretty to look at. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Mm. But a time like this, the royal family is really reflecting on messages of love, hope, compassion, peace. I know that
Mm.
very soon, I think this week, all of them will start to head off to Sandringham for the annual Christmas gathering. We all know that they go to that St. Mary's Church in Sandringham. Perfect time, by the way. I know Aspi, that's one of the places you've put down on your
Yes.
list to
Hmm.
visit, isn't it?
Yes, it
Yes.
is. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, if you ever want to see royals very up close and shake hands, and you know, this is the perfect place to go around this time, because
Mm.
when they come out of the church, they then walk about and
Yeah.
receive gifts, flowers, and really this is a very small community around Sandringham, and
Mm.
it allows for everyone to get that up close to the royals. So I was actually thinking of going myself, but it's quite a distance from where I
Yeah.
am. Yeah,
I think
but it
from
would have
London,
been
it's
nice.
it's like almost 2 hours. I think from London,
Yes, yeah, 2 hours and a
it's
half.
far. It's
Yeah,
far.
it's
Yeah.
quite a distance. And for me, would me need probably booking a hotel somewhere close.
Yeah.
And then
What's the nearest town to Sandringham?
I
Do you
don't
know?
know. I'm
Okay.
not sure, but it's just a Sandringham little village.
It looks like a
Yeah,
small little
it's
village.
quite a
Yeah.
village, yeah. So it's not very easily accessible by
Mm.
the public, but the
So it's
people who
mostly
live
the
there,
local townspeople
the
that go.
locals, yeah, the
Okay.
locals who live there, most of it is private land.
Okay.
So yeah. And in that sense, the royals, I think, feel more safe to walk around there because they know it's not very accessible to the public.
Yeah. Yeah. They
But
have to
what
have
were your
safety
thoughts?
concerns.
What were your thoughts on Prince George appearing? Because we rarely see George appear in a way he did. We know he turns up in his suit to
Hmm.
escort his mom to the Wimbledon games, but it's like
Yeah.
quick in out, cameras 1 minute off George. But this
Um.
time round, we were able to get George in his fullness, activities. Got to see him play out on cameras for quite a long time, and boy, he's grown. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts on George, Catherine?
I I was so impressed with him because we've we know him as a shy boy, but I think because he's done 3 engagements this year, hasn't he? So
Yes.
I
Mm.
think the other 2 engagements have really boosted his confidence because I think he'll always be a little bit retiring in his persona, but
Mm.
he just seems to be growing in confidence, growing in stature, and he looks so much like his mother. He's so
Mm.
handsome, but
Mm.
he also looked really proud of his father. And you've got to hand it to the Wales. I know that they get some criticism from the Rota. They're lazy. Because they won't do this. Everyone does more work than them. It's not the case at all because not only is he the heir, but he is a dedicated father, a dedicated husband, and they've nearly
Mm.
lost Catherine.
Mm.
And I believe it's showing, you know, the work that he has invested in his children is showing now because they come out, they're so poised at the Christmas carols. He was so poised at the Passage event, and I think it's all their hard investment in the children is now starting to show up more so in George because he's one we'll see more of. But
Mm.
I tip my hat to them, to be frank, because it's not easy raising children under the scrutiny of the media and the public eye, but they're doing it, and they're doing it no matter what anyone thinks. But in the end, you're going to have 3 relatively adjusted children. And it's possible to do that in the royal family. Look at Louise. Look at the Edinburgh boy, son and daughter. Look at them. They're
Mm.
so poised, well put together. You know, she's studying at university up in Scotland. If you've seen photos of, I think his name's James, with
James. Yeah.
if you've seen photos of him recently with his father, he's so tall. He's taller than his father.
Mm.
You can raise really well trained, well behaved, well poised children in the royal family. They don't all have to be like the rogue royals.
Mm.
That's what I think. It's a long
Mm.
answer.
Mm. And George has got his fans. He's one of the
Yeah.
most popular royals, by the way, in the royal family. We
Yeah.
rarely talk about his popularity, but I was looking at the reports recently and the popular feeds, the polls that were released, putting George way up there in the most
Yeah.
popular
Really?
young royals
Well,
in
Yeah.
the world. Yes,
yeah.
Really? Oh.
Yeah.
extremely popular with
Mm.
girls as well. When he's
Yeah.
walking around, girls
He's
are like
only 12.
falling on.
Imagine when he's 16, 17.
Yeah, he's a very handsome man. And you know what? Catherine, Princess of Wales, being such a loyal, respectful woman of principles and great values, family, you see all of that through her children. When you look at
Mm.
George, you are looking at a young Catherine playing out in front of all of us. Okay.
Mm.
And to have him as the future king,
Mm,
the future of the royal family is looking really, really bright.
yeah.
Okay.
Francis, I remember, I think when Catherine did that video that she was going back into public life, they were like in the woods, like the whole family. There's a
Yes.
scene I remember with him like hugging his mom. So I could tell that
Yes.
he's very close to like
Very
Catherine, to his
close.
parents. So
Absolutely.
I
Yes.
think they're kind of like him and the other children too are being kind of gently put into the
Mm,
public a little more and more with like public duties
mm,
and
mm, mm.
gatherings. So
I know Princess Charlotte likes to sort of boss George around.
yes,
Sometimes you see.
yes, I've seen the videos. Tells him to put
But
his shoulders straight and look ahead and do this. Yeah.
absolutely, look up and all of
She's
that.
another Princess Anne in training, which is a
Oh,
great
another
thing.
Princess Anne, I'm telling you, yes. But we are very, very lucky to have these Wells's children,
Yes.
grow up fit and healthy, being raised by such a responsible mom
Hmm.
in Catherine.
They're the face of the
And
future. They're the
they
monarchy.
are, they are.
And
And
I
so
think,
that stepping out for us,
Hmm.
it was a reminder that, the royal family is really, really preparing these young royals to come and start. Because George very soon will be, he will start to be introduced to the public more aggressively.
Yeah.
Okay. Because as the future king, William's plan is to launch him a bit early because he has seen the challenges,
Yeah.
of taking on these positions. You have to build resilience, and that has to start very early on. And with George being a bit shy, be in the background,
Hmm.
this is the time for William to and Catherine to tell him that, yeah, listen, the
I
challenge that
sense he's
lies
shy,
ahead
but he's engaged.
is
Like I've seen him like
very,
yes.
ask
yeah,
questions. That
yeah,
he is
yeah.
like interested in like when he's at a certain place. When he was with the
Mm,
veterans, I
mm, mm.
remember he was very asking questions. I remember him doing that.
Mm, mm,
So they're
mm.
training him well, his parents.
Well,
There,
he's
so
only
it
he's only just been given a mobile phone.
yeah.
He finishes.
Mm,
I don't know what
Yeah.
it's called in the UK, but in Australia, it's primary school. So he goes to his, big school, whatever it is called in the UK, and he's the first time he's been given a mobile phone. I really admire that about William, and I think that it sets a real standard, and it would have caused, because William did say it's been a source of tension between him and his son, but he's got
Mm.
his phone now. So he's
Yeah,
been
yeah.
given his phone the same year that he's being introduced to
mm.
public life, and you can be sure that the parental controls on that phone will
Well, I'm
be
sure
Mm.
pretty
it has the
firm.
highest
Yeah,
security,
Oh,
that phone.
yeah,
yes. Yes,
yeah,
yeah,
I'm sure
absolutely.
like
Because
MI5, MI6, they have the
yes.
highest security
oh,
on that phone. So
yes, yeah, yeah. Because this is a
nobody will
future
be able to get
king.
access to that phone.
Mm,
Absolutely. We are talking about a future king. And
yes.
of course, George here. Oh God.
Hmm.
Having a mobile phone, and can you imagine how catastrophic it could be if you
Right.
get those leakages through his
Hmm.
phone? And then
Yeah.
yeah, so they are very careful on what
Mm.
they give to him and what he can access
Well,
on
I'm
that
thinking
phone.
also, remember when William and Harry, they had their phone calls hacked, so of course they have to be really careful security wise with,
Yeah.
a preteen's phone. I mean, I'm
Mm,
sure he has internet at home. Yes, he goes to school, so he's not aware of what happens, but they have to be really careful with phone,
yeah, yeah.
definitely.
They have, yeah. But you can
Mm,
imagine raising, in a family where you have the king and you got the future king and you've got the
Mm.
prince, so the future, princess royal. So it's definitely going to be keeping an eye on so many areas, of growth. Because Charlotte is also coming through the ranks. Girls grow very
mm,
quickly,
Yeah.
so not only are they looking at George, but also Charlotte. What are they
Hmm.
accessing? Yeah. And so this is the great work that Catherine is doing behind the scenes on top
mm,
of her own duties as the
mm.
Princess of Wales. Hmm.
Yeah.
But
Definitely.
their appearance at the Christmas Carol service, because I know we haven't also talked about that. How did you feel about that appearance, especially in United States? Did you
I mean,
as
it was covered a little bit.
mm,
I don't have BBC on
mm.
my, it's BBC, right? That they're the one that
It's
air.
maybe no, it's ITV. It
Oh,
will
ITV.
be
Okay.
aired on ITV1,
Okay.
yes,
I know
on
usually Christmas
Christmas.
Eve it's aired, right?
Yeah,
In,
Christmas
okay.
Eve and then on Christmas Day as well.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, they
Mm.
showed like a little like snippets.
No, it will be inside the service. They will air the whole service.
Yeah,
What
but I'm saying
happened?
like in the States, they've shown like little like snippets and
Little
pictures of the kids
and
entering,
pictures. Yeah,
the family
absolutely.
entering.
Yes,
So
yeah. And in Australia, I think, Catherine, what can you have you sort of do you have ITV there? Can you see those images when they come through?
I we do. What happens here in Australia, particularly Sky News, they cover a lot of royal events.
Mm,
So we do get quite a bit of coverage, but not necessarily the whole thing. You know, they're often highlights and commentary. But I can access ITV if I wanted to. Well,
mm,
I'll tell you what I like about the carols. I think that Catherine's really onto something with these Christmas carols because she's done them a few years now, and
mm,
she's really laid down her stake in the ground because, you know, in America, it's either happy holidays, you know, people don't like to say happy Christmas. Those who do say happy Christmas, you know, they're either really aggressive or whispering it. You know, it's either happy Christmas. You're going to get it whether you like it or not. But
I say Merry Christmas. Sorry, you
yeah,
know,
I'm not surprised to hear that.
I
I thought you would.
I
But here in
don't.
Australia, we're not quite as bad as that. But we are still very much a secular society.
Mhm.
But what Catherine has done is um, she's reclaimed Christmas for the royal family. She has sat down because Christmas, as we all know, it's established in the Christian foundations around the birth of Christ.
Mhm.
And
mm,
she's seeking to bring everyone together through all these community groups. She's got a very select invitation group, but
mm,
I think that it's really marvelous because it's Christmas and it's Christmas carols, you know, um,
Mm.
Silent Night and Oh Holy Night and all of these wonderful old carols that we're very familiar with and that bring us to tears. And she has, without any apology, and she's done it so quietly that all of a sudden you realize, hey, this girl has established a Christian tradition in the royal family
Mm.
at a
mm,
time when those foundations are feeling a bit unsteady. So
mm.
I tell you, I tip my hat to her, and she's not political. She doesn't go about. She just does it quietly.
Yeah.
You know, she just does it, and then before you know what she's done, you go, "Oh my God, look what she's achieved!"
Mm.
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic.
She's lovely. She's an
Mm.
Anglican, isn't it? She was baptized in the
Yes.
Church of England. So she obviously has the roots of Christianity, and right from a young age she was going to church. She used to sing in the church growing up. So she has all of those values. That girl, Catherine, is a woman of all principles, you know. And
Mm.
she's
Mm.
not only competitive in a more positive way, but she's very, what can I say? How can I even describe her? Because you could see her for the Christmas Carol service going to every single one
Mm.
that she
Mm.
could and checking in with them. Hello, how is Christmas season? What have you
Mm.
prepared? How will you be spending it? And appreciating every single one of them. At
Yes.
times going
Yes.
down on her knees,
Mhm.
putting aside her royal accolades,
Mm.
and being just like everyone who had come to attend a normal service.
Yeah.
Well,
That's what makes her spectacular. Hmm?
Well, you do remember she grew up in Jordan for a few years,
Hmm.
and so she has learned through her own life experience and going to school in Jordan. She has learned some skills in dealing with people from a cross section of
Mm,
society. So, her soft power is equal to the Queen's. That's what I
mm,
think. And we saw it on display with Donald Trump. Her soft power is absolutely, her statecraft is so polished and it's so on point. But both her and William were trained by the Queen. She took William under her wing when he was in his teens, and it looked like he was wandering a little bit. So that was when she had started Sunday afternoon tea. But
mm.
she also brought Catherine under her wing, and you can see it. You
Mm.
can see the Queen's influence. It's
Oh,
just
yes.
yes,
Yes, you can see here, Lady of the Lake says, Catherine is very English and Christian, absolutely,
yes.
very absolutely. And I think those have been the founding principles and values that Catherine is holding on through her role as the Princess of Wales. And when she is interacting with the public, that's where she gets all that connection because she has those values, that somebody who would not have sort of certain sentiments or Christian values would not have. So she goes in a church setting and see how she interacts with the priests and the leaders, and then when it comes to singing the hymns, she's leading from the front. You will
Yes.
see her singing those hymns. Last
Mm-hmm.
time when she went to play that piano, she was playing again very Anglican songs, with the
Mm.
piano. So she's grown up in that sort of life. And I tell you what, her parents, Carol
Mm.
Middleton and the father Michael did a great job
Yeah.
raising these
They
children
did.
because all of them are very, very polite children.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Not any single one of them you hear has done this, has done that, has
Mm-hmm.
done that. They are all very respectful in their jobs, in their circles, and everything.
Yeah,
Okay.
William couldn't have picked anyone better than Catherine,
Oh my
in my
God.
opinion.
The royal family did a great job in identifying this woman, whoever did, whether it was William spotted Catherine at St. Andrews when she did that catwalking, the
Mm-hmm.
royal family did a great job looking deeply into Catherine and this partnership she had with William before actually William married. I mean,
Well, they were
Catherine.
together for a while before they even got
Yeah.
married, so
Yeah, absolutely. Something
they
that
had
we didn't
time.
see happen with, Meghan Markle, Prince Harry, and
Right.
now see what's going on with them,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
very mismatched, very not together in terms of the things they do. And so they
Yeah.
decided to go either ways because their passions were different from each other. So, it's all because the upbringing comes in, Meghan Markle, a very different type of person, and then meets Harry, from this side, and they were never gonna be a
Mm-hmm.
perfect match. Yeah, not like we
But
see Catherine and
you know what,
Prince.
Francis? Not to sound, I'm trying not to sound snarky, but when you see Catherine in the pub, it's about giving back, charity,
Mm,
giving back. While Megan, I just see just making money for myself.
yeah,
That's kind of
absolutely,
what it is, in
absolutely,
my
yeah,
humble opinion.
absolutely.
So
The
you know,
mindset that Meghan Markle had coming in, as we have been reading around a lot, was, oh, I want to marry Prince and get rich and get
mm-hmm,
famous.
mm-hmm,
Yeah. So that was always going to be Meghan's mindset. And we've seen how that has played out in front of all of us. Whereas Catherine came with one thing, family and
yeah,
support. Yeah. I want to support William. I want to be part of
mm-hmm.
this family that, to get that opportunity to
Which is
serve
great for William because
communities.
he lost his mom when he was like 13, 14.
Oh,
So now he
yes,
has the Middleton
Catherine.
family as,
Yes.
a surrogate family.
Yeah, and William respects the Catherine's parents to
Yeah.
the core, and the king. That's why when they go to Sandringham for the Christmas gathering, even when Carol and Michael, Catherine's parents, haven't joined them for Christmas, Catherine is let loose. She's left to go and see her
Yeah.
parents on Christmas Day
Yeah.
somehow because they don't live far away from Sandringham.
Oh,
So she
okay. I didn't know
goes,
that. All right.
yeah, so she goes and spends some time with the family, and William and the children are no visitors at Catherine's parents'
Mm.
home. Okay. And most of the time, the kids, George, Charlotte, Louis, spend more time at Catherine's parents than they would do even at Buckingham Palace.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is where Catherine becomes incomparable to Meghan Markle. Because can you imagine, Meghan Markle's parents have never seen the kids, Meghan Markle's kids, whereas
Yeah.
Catherine is important for those
Hmm.
kids to go and see their grandparents.
Right. It's a sad
Because those,
situation. Yeah.
yeah, because those are the founding principles and the values you're building in little ones. Grandparents, back from a young age, we've known them as wisdom givers. They give us wisdom and luck and blessings. And so deny kids that opportunity to go and spend time with grandparents. You're denying them wisdom. Okay. So kudos to William and Catherine for raising kids in such a way, but also remaining very close to Catherine's family and allowing for that very close space for the Middletons to touch base with the royal family very often. Yeah. Right.
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah. So let's look at the comments here. Lady says Prince William said the royal family is not for sale. My comments, how embarrassing. Yeah, very, very embarrassing, isn't it, Lisa? You couldn't have put that in the best way you have. But that's the royal family news going on. And the visit for the German president. Did you follow up on that? I thought Catherine looked absolutely elegant, glowing as always for that state visit and the dinner at Windsor Castle. Again, she played a very important role with husband Prince William of
Mm.
receiving the German president and sitting in that carriage that royal motorcade driving up to Windsor Castle before they sort of handed over the German president to the king. That soft power that Catherine said about the Princess of Wales, they are using her to the best. And then I think the
Yeah.
position they're placing her in couldn't have been the best positions they could use Catherine in because she's a woman of grace. Everybody tunes in to see
Hmm.
her, follow up
Yeah.
on her. And so for her to be placed right at the heart of that royal visit, like we have seen them do for all these visits. Look at President Trump's visit.
Yeah. I
I mean,
remember
who
that.
was right there at the forefront? Catherine.
Yeah, she was.
Okay.
She
Yeah.
was.
And Trump
Trump had nothing
acknowledges
but
that.
great things to say about her.
Oh, yes, absolutely. The same went to the French president's visit. And then again, the German visit. Again,
Yeah.
the German president said the same thing about Catherine and say she is a woman of grace.
Yeah. They're the
Okay.
future of the monarchy, William,
The
Catherine, the
future of the
children.
monarchy. And
It's in their hands.
we tend to forget the sort of difficulty she has had, Catherine, with the
Yeah.
cancer diagnosis, with the surgery and the chemotherapy treatment. And for her to come out and be such a strong woman
Hmm.
and do what she's doing right now is so amazing. Because Catherine at some point thought maybe Princess Catherine would not return to royal duties at some point. Didn't we
I
think
was,
like that?
Yes, I
yes,
had
I
read that
was
too.
worried. I was worried, and I was worried for the family as much as for Catherine. And you could see William was under enormous strain. But she's not really out of the woods yet, though. That's actually she looks fantastic. She
Mm.
looks so good, but she does look, and I don't like to make these kind of comments, but I'd say it in the context of her illness, she looks a bit underweight, but that's to be expected because when you're receiving any kind of treatment, it would take her a while to get back to any other weight. And she didn't have any to lose previously, but I was really worried because I thought, wow, if William lost his wife after losing his mother, it would have just devastated him. He would
Oh.
have, I think he would have lost
Okay, I
his
don't want to
footing
think
a
that.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so thank God, that's why I admire him, William. He
Hmm.
is raising his family and looking after his family his
Yeah.
way. Whatever anyone says or thinks, he's not listening. He doesn't care. And if you don't like it, I'll go to people like Eugene Levy and I'll give them the interviews. You won't get
Hmm.
any, if you're going to criticize me and my family, you're not going to get anything from me. And the
Mm.
Royal Rota, they're nervous. They're nervous about their future because that's why they get a bit snarky
Mm.
because they're not getting what they want from them. But you're not going to get what you want from them by criticizing. Maybe if you sit down and just keep your mouth shut for a little while and give them a bit of room and space to breathe, you might
Mm.
find yourself like William coming back to you because the Royal Rota won't exist after William comes to the throne. The Royal Rota's over. It's in its last gasp.
Catherine, what
That's
makes
what
you say that? What makes you say the Royal Rota is on its last
for two
legs?
reasons. One is it's all about access, right?
Mm.
With the Royal
Okay.
Rota, they've got the UK Rota and they've got the International Rota, and
Hmm.
it's all about
Yeah.
access. And so you hear Tom Sykes talking about it, and I think he's still a bit bitter about it because he brings it up from time to time because he got kicked out by um, Charles, head of communications, because he asked questions about his health. And but in the end, he did him a favor because he went on Substack. He's built a really big channel on Substack, and people are, listening to him. And Dan Wootton interviews him, Lauren the
Mm.
Insider, others interview him. He interviews Andrew Loney. That's the future of media. So the second reason is, apart from the access, which is quite complicated because if you're trying to protect your access, like I hear Rebecca English on the Palace Confidential. Oh my gosh, she's such a Buckingham Palace hack.
Mm.
Sorry, I'm not being rude, but she
Mm.
is. She is their
Mm.
mouthpiece, right?
Mm. Mm.
She is their mouthpiece now. But if she tried to change that, she'd be out of a job. And
Mm.
so that's why I feel now. Getting back to William, he sees it for what it is. We've got the problems with the BBC, and if it couldn't get any worse for the BBC, they thought, oh, Trump's only threatening. Um, the Diana Rama interview comes out, and about a week later, Trump sues. So it's all crashing in on the BBC,
Mm.
which is the official, because they've got a royal charter, the BBC. So they've
Mm.
got an official role. And the, the institutional, with Charles, his institutional impulse is to protect the royal charter, not William, not after what they did to his mother. That's why
Mm.
William is going to go down a different route because in the end she wasn't killed in a tunnel in Paris. It happened long before that when she was suckered into this interview with um,
Martin Bashir.
Bashir.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when the wheels started to come off. So William, he sent a message to the Royal Rota with that interview with Eugene Levy. And and some of them were complaining because I can't stand some of them anyway, because, some of them are
Well,
just,
they're complaining because they didn't get the
yeah,
interview. That's why.
that's
Mm.
exactly what it is. Like, they try not to, they'll try to be polite about it, oh, like, It looks like he's shutting us out, but he's not. Yes, he is.
Yeah.
William William is not going to put up with any crap from the media. That's why I think the Royal Rota is on
Mm.
notice. At the moment, they're on notice. But
Yeah.
William is a deciding factor. But with the BBC, Charles is an institutional man, and because we can see the way he's trying to protect his brother, all the rest of it, he will do what he can to try and save behind the scenes to
Yeah.
save the BBC. But he's not going to be able to achieve that because they've got a royal charter, so he will
Mm,
do that. That's what the king will
mm,
do. But no one cares. The problem with the BBC is they've
Nobody
lost
cares.
trust. They've lost trust with the public. No one cares, BBC. Like, off you go. And they've already lost billions of dollars in cancelled subscriptions
Because don't
alone.
you have like
mm,
a license, like
mm.
a TV license in the
We
UK
do.
you have to pay? I've heard
Yeah,
Yeah,
about
we
that.
in
do.
the UK.
Yes. Yeah. Is it £13 every month comes off with the BBC? I mean, for
Every
TV
month.
license. Yeah. Yeah. Every
So
month,
because we
TV
don't have that
license.
here in the US.
Yeah, but most people are unsubscribing. BBC has got its own run-ins. Well,
Mm.
Trump wants to sue them for billions of pounds, US dollars for editing. That I don't know if you've heard about it.
Yes, I
Trump
heard about
wanting to,
it. He did
yeah.
the same thing with CBS because during the US election of Kamala Harris, they had edited out
Mm,
things she said, so it made her look so much better. Then they
mm,
wouldn't do the same thing for him, kind of thing. So
mm,
Well, I
they
mean,
they
where
had
the
to
hell?
pay. They had to
Well, where
pay.
the hell are we living in North Korea? I mean, that's what you do in those countries. They control media, they control the messaging. That's what the BBC is doing. But it's over. It really is over for the BBC. They'll they won't be completely buried, but they're so wounded now
Hmm.
that the recovery is really just it's going to be a
But in
matter
the
of
UK, the main
a
channels
new
are
model.
BBC and ITV,
yeah. So got
Sky,
Yeah,
BBC
yeah,
ITVS. Yeah, so we've got.
Sky
And then
News.
we got Sky News, got Channel 4, Channel 5.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, but BBC is a huge channel. It's
yeah,
massive.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Sky. But all of these channels have their own sort of
yeah.
areas they cover and their own the licenses and places and things they can access and others can't access. So it's about the Royal Rota, like Catherine said.
Yeah.
And
They're in trouble.
yeah, so
Yeah, you can
those
hear it.
yeah, so those
Philip
channels that
Palmer.
can't gain access
Yeah.
for certain reasons have gone on the other side to criticize and start coming up with stories that are demeaning the royal family because they were not granted access to certain areas or footages or.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Philip Palmer, he joined Substack recently, and he put up an article about William. And I thought it was a bit odd. I don't like this guy, Philip Palmer. He's real wet, and just a bit limp-wristed in his,
Limp-wristed.
in his report. I mean,
Wristed.
in his
She's
reporting,
funny.
Yeah.
I don't know about anything else. Sorry. So
Yeah.
he's
That's funny.
limp-wristed. I mean, he's really lefty in his reporting, right? So
Yeah.
he did an article recently on it was about 2 weeks ago on William, and he was talking about William's approach to the media, and you could tell he was treading really, really close to the edge. He was trying not to criticize William, and then he went so far as to say, "Oh, he'll have to be careful how far he takes this going into other forms of media." Then he jumped back, really hedged really, really quickly and said, "But, we all admire William. He's his own man and stuff like this." And I thought, "You coward, we can read what's going on here. He's a
Mm,
member of the Rota. They're all
mm,
nervous." And they're
Yeah.
all joining Substack because they're wondering where the hell because they don't know how long the King's got. And
Mm.
I mean, their worst nightmare is William. It really
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it comes on, I'm telling you, most of all of those are gonna be striked off the royal rota.
Yeah.
And all of those you see talking positively about the Megans and Harrys, those are the very ones who were kicked off the road.
Can you blame them? I mean, they're like, if you're being trashed or talked poorly about, I mean, what do you
Yeah,
expect?
yeah.
Well,
So,
yeah, no one's gonna. I mean, in the end, what's happened is Martin Bashir's been. Everyone knew what Martin Bashir did, but it's all back in the news at the worst possible time. And
mm,
so when you see what's happened, I mean, one of the things William promised his mother was that, she was devastated because the Queen was quite okay with it. And in fact, the Queen wanted her to retain her HRH, but Charles went in really hard and removed it, right? So
mm,
William has got a bit of a protector instinct, and you can see it in the way he is for this family. And his mother, he'd seen his mother
Yeah.
crying, and he promised her, and he said, "Don't worry, Mummy, when I become king, I'll restore it." Now, he had no idea that meant that she wasn't going to be alive, but he will restore that HRH. It'll be one of the first things he does. But he's got he's a lot more measured and realistic than his brother, but he does believe that a lot of this goes back to the BBC, and the way they manipulated his mother. So he's no way, these guys are screwed.
mm,
No, I remember
mm,
he did a press conference after the
Yeah,
whole Martin Bashir thing saying that unfortunately his mom became paranoid, when she was fed, false information by people working, Martin Bashir. And, you know, I remember that press conference he did, Prince William.
yes, yeah, I
mm,
remember that
mm,
Yeah,
too.
mm,
And
yeah,
mm.
he was very angry.
yeah,
He was measured and he was holding it in, but I
yeah.
would never want to cross William. I
Well,
would
I've read
never.
that people
Yeah,
have said that he's a nice guy, but at the same
yeah,
time, you don't want to
When you
cross
cross
him.
the line,
no,
Yeah,
yes,
you don't
yeah,
cross
that's
him.
it. No, no, he's a very, very measured guy. He's very
yeah,
thoughtful. His sense of judgment is key. If he senses something from miles away, he keeps a distance. And it's very much behind the scenes, in charge of all of these decision makings that are going on within the royal
yes,
household, allegedly, whether
Yeah.
it's invitations for people who come to attend all these palace garden parties, and who sits where in all
yeah.
these gatherings on big royal events. Catherine and William are very much at the heart of those
Okay,
decision
go over there.
makings. So I'm telling you, the Prince and Princess of Wales's office is huge. Is playing a great role in the running of the royal
But
family.
that's based at Kensington
And
Palace, right? His office.
Kensington Palace,
Yeah, yeah,
yes,
I read
yeah,
that.
it's
Okay.
very independent of the king's of King Charles's royal, royal family of his
Hmm.
office, King Charles's office.
Yeah,
But they work in great partnership. So when the King Charles puts stuff up, William will share that on their channel. But they all have their different programs running in these
yeah.
two
Well,
press
on YouTube, they
offices.
have their own channel. William
Yes,
and
the Prince and Princess of Wales.
yeah,
Yes,
I've seen it.
yeah,
I'm subscribed to their channel. Yeah,
yeah. Oh, it's fabulous.
it's
But
it's done very
they,
well.
yes, but William, we have a king here, a future king who is not going to be, who's going to be a no-nonsense king.
Hmm.
Okay, he stands his grounds, he makes his decisions without, he's not. Well, look at the king, and how people have looked at him with the handling of this Meghan and
I'm just
Harry
gonna get
thing
some.
situation. Yeah, you get
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And
I'm
how people
listening.
yeah, and how people think if it was William's reign, and William could have handled it differently. Okay,
Mm.
because he's a no nonsense. He puts crown first before anything else. But also, I think as his personality, his sense of judgment. If he senses something is not right, he just, he doesn't wait around until. Yeah, but the Prince of Wales is very key, extremely key.
Yeah.
He's the next king. People just can't
Hmm.
wait. Um, uh, Catherine as the future queen, you
Hmm.
know, the people have already booked their flights, hotels. They can't wait for that coronation.
Yeah.
It's gonna bring so many people across the globe, including Aspi and Stedman. I think he'll be
Oh
coming
yeah.
down.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Catherine.
Yeah.
Yes. But it,
Yes.
it's it all comes down to again people thinking that William and Catherine's reign will solve so many problems that haven't been solved under this reign. Okay.
Yeah.
So, as we had King Charles recently with his cancer update, where he told us that he's gonna go on reduced treatment come January. Did you
Yes, I caught
tune
that.
into that? Good
Yes.
news, because so many people were looking at the king and saying, no, he's a finished man. He hasn't got a lot left in him, and then he comes back and delivers this, this appearance in which he tells us that he's very strong, he's going on reduced treatment, things are going as planned, which is good news. It's very good news. It
It's
means that William and Kate can have a little more time to prepare. Don't you think so?
um and like whatever is happening to me, that's his private. He deserves to have his privacy. I know he's king, but you know, I'm hoping the best for him.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, I
And
am.
and many people are criticizing him for sharing a lot about his health.
Well,
And
that's his choice to me.
what's your take? Do you think in many ways, again, it has worked to King Charles's advantage, because coming into this reign, everybody thought, King Charles was never going to be a popular king. So he had to find somewhere to sort of tune into people's emotions, or capture people's emotions, and in so declaring his health and
Francis, I think
appearing
it's
to be
kind of like
vulnerable.
Francis, I think it's kind of like you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. If he says
Mm.
nothing at all, they'll be like, "Oh, well, he's trying to hide." Then if he speaks about it, oh, he's talking too much. It's like you can't please everybody.
Yeah.
So that's his choice to me.
Yeah, but I think it's worked in his favor, because he's now, looking at how many people have turned up to do their cancer
Hmm.
tests,
Yeah,
men.
that's nice that he's
You know,
doing that.
yeah, so that awareness is created, in the end has actually cemented him as a very, very, as a king who has used his platform to create this awareness that has been lacking for years.
Yeah,
Okay. And
yeah,
so we can sit down and say that, despite how difficult his reign has been, he has achieved in this area. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
And hmm?
From the nursing perspective, I think it's great that the king is, visiting cancer centers and making awareness
Hmm.
of cancer.
Hmm.
And then he said, get your checkups. I saw a
Hmm.
video that he did that. I thought that was great that he did that.
Yes, yeah. And Catherine, you saw him and the Queen live when they came to Australia. And so what are your thoughts on his recent appearance? Does he look better than he did when he came to Australia?
Um, first of all, there was a recent headline that went out, and the king is dying. The king is dying,
Hmm.
and I thought that was really misjudged.
Hmm.
And even if he was, I believe that was not appropriate. So I've said that to say he obviously looks at times a bit frail, right?
Mm, mm,
But he does look better than he did when he was in Australia. But remembering Australia, like you're traveling 24 hours, you've got to go to Samoa. You're doing this huge trip. Mind you, they're not traveling cattle class, and he had his doctor traveling with him. But the one who looked really sick on the trip was Camilla.
Hmm.
mm,
And yeah, and I got up very close to them, like as close as it gets, because
mm,
I was at the church on the Sunday, and that was a very intimate gathering because it was over on the north side, so it was close to me. And then I was at the Opera House on the following day, and I was still close to them even there. I couldn't believe how close I was. I was right
Yeah.
up there, and she did not look well at all. They did stop off at an Indian retreat on the way back for a couple of days, which is wise. But I will say the king does look better than he did last October. He did look frail, and he also looked worried about Camilla because he kept looking back. He kept looking
mm.
back to make
Hmm.
sure she was okay.
Come here, Bill. Come on.
So, you know, I think that
Come on.
Camilla obviously has health issues and she's probably a lot sicker than we realize. But if anything
Mm,
happened to her, that'd be over for the king. I don't think he could live without Camilla. But
mm,
I think she would. Women do seem to be a little bit more resilient. But
mm,
Is
as
Camilla
to
older
his
than the king?
5 years, I think, 5 years older.
Okay.
mm,
See,
mm,
remember, Harry and the king have married older women. They've,
Right.
mm,
yeah, they've married older women, so make of that what you will. But, I mean, I wish the king well. I've got
Yeah.
no I've got no ill feeling toward him. I wouldn't wish anything bad on him, but I'm not happy with his reign. I think um,
Come here. Come here.
it's been problematic because his messaging about the royal family, and I'm looking to see what his Christmas message is like this year,
Yeah.
and the way he's handled the Andrew situation. And he's the one who brought Andrew back in. He's the one who invited Andrew and Fergie to church. And now he looks stupid. I'm sorry to say this about the king, but he looks stupid. He's got egg on his face. Maybe that's a
Yeah, that
better
was
way to
not a
put
good
it.
decision. It wasn't.
That was a terrible decision
It
because he
wasn't.
wants to be he wants to be known as
The
the
peacemaker.
reconciler, yeah, the
Yeah.
peacemaker. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall inherit the crown. No, I think it's the earth. So,
mm,
I just am not happy with his reign at all. I feel he's destabilized the monarchy. And I feel he could have avoided a lot of embarrassment for the royal family if he'd stayed with the decisions that Queen Elizabeth made. Now, there's been a lot of blowback on the Queen about Andrew since the Andrew Loney book, but in the last I think since 2017, the King, our current King, was, essentially almost in charge, and he knew what the decisions were the Queen had made. Why did he see fit to change all that? So, did she really know everything? That's the question. If the king was in charge and making a lot of decisions in those last years when she
Excuse
was
me.
ill, the king knew what was going on. King Charles knew what was going on. So why is he covering for his brother? Now I've said what I really want to say. Why is he covering for his brother? And remember at the beginning of the year that, sorry to bring this up, you shouldn't have asked me anything about the King, Francis, but remember at the beginning of the year, the
yeah.
Jimmy Savile scandal erupted again. Some old revelations came out again at the beginning of 2025. So 2025 has been an absolute disaster for his reign, and it's all been self-inflicted. I don't understand it. Look, we knew he was a different kettle of fish, but I didn't think it was going to be this bad. You know, I reckon it's pretty rough, and we're all supposed to feel sorry for him because he's got cancer. I'm sorry. My tissues are dried out. I'm fed up with it. And the reason is because now it's brought, how come those girls were not with their father? They went to Sandringham. How come they didn't stay with their father? He would have been lonely. He was on his own, or he's probably with that ghastly ex-wife of his. I never liked the Yorks. Never liked them. I always thought they were uh, just a bit silly. I'll be polite. But, the girls are supposed to be coming back. And every time we see those girls, we think about the Jeffrey Epstein scandal. We think about the de-printing of their father. Why is he doing this? Why is he doing this? Francis, you can't stop me now.
I can't stop you. No, you go on with the rant. We're loving that rant, Catherine.
I'm sorry.
Ask Catherine some tissues. Yeah?
And I'm telling you, his letter to Australia, his statement to Australia after the Bondi shootings was so lame. It was so lame. I'm just infuriated. And then when he came on and he said, my cancer, I'm going to be fine next year. I'm going to be fine. I'm thinking, like, right now, this is like the last thing I'm thinking about is your health, sir. I'm not thinking about your health.
Sorry,
I've got
my
other
dog is
things
barking.
on my
Sorry.
mind. So he agrees with me. Oscar agrees.
I guess he does.
Yeah. So anyway, look, I've said enough. I'm so disappointed beyond. I came out for him in October. I came out. I gave him a chance. I said, oh, he's king now. I'm going to give him a chance, And I'll tell you, my children knew how I felt because I always thought he was a bit weird. And, I never said a lot, but they knew how I felt. But they were all shocked when I came out for the King's visit. They were shocked, especially since he had Camilla with him. Because they even said, but it's not like he had Diana. We would understand you going. But see, why didn't he stay with Diana? He's the king. He could have stayed with her. He didn't have to, oh my God, it's all coming out. It's all coming out. But that's what my kids said to me. Why are you coming out? You don't like him. And I said, because he's the king and I'm going to give him a chance. Well, this year he blew it. I tell you, I'm a really fair weather friend.
It is what it is now. And the thing is, he has left these issues lingering on for long, just like Catherine says, and Aspie, I think you touched on this earlier on, where he could have resolved a lot of these things. This Andrew problem here could have been resolved long time ago, but it took that book to first come out before
It's not a good look. From an American point of view, for a book
absolutely
to cause the titles to be taken, it's not a good look. It should have been done
a good look,
years ago.
So
it really
should have been sorted. This book could have come out and found Andrew off that website. Andrew's titles removed. Everything would have been done long time ago than it did. So, which is very telling of how slow they have been in dealing with these issues. And the same will happen, with this Meghan Markle, Prince Harry thing. Because everybody has been singing this, calling upon these two to be dropped off that website, get them off. They are not glorifying the royal family in any way, shape, or form. The activities of theirs, business, using the royal titles. What is being done? And
because I don't care, whatever your title is in the family, you need the public support. The royal family, you need the public support of the UK and the Commonwealth. And even little things like that the website, Harry. It's like just get them off the website.
Get
But
them,
you know,
absolutely,
Just
yeah,
make a start, you know.
yeah.
But you've hit on a really important point there, Aspie, because the royal family need the confidence of the public. They reign by the assent of the public. They
yeah.
need it. But the point is, he is surrounded with yes men. So he
Hmm.
is not in touch with the public. He hasn't got a clue what public opinion is. See what happens when I start talking? He keeps agreeing. So he's a very intelligent dog, Aspie. But then,
Yes, he is.
of course, he would be. He's your choice. You would
Oscar.
choose him. So, if you're not reigning with the confidence and the trust, full confidence and trust of the people, your reign is in trouble. And
Yeah.
all right, I'm going to tell you what I really think about the message. I believe it was because William and Catherine are on the ascent.
Mm.
Everyone just, it's almost like they're trying to get past Camilla and Charles, at a dinner. They're walking past the king and queen to get to William and Catherine. It feels like that because Catherine and William look so put together. There are no scandals with those two. And I think what he's done is he sent a message to William's court that I'm still in charge. That's what it is. It's as base as that. And I think, it's not, doesn't matter how often he says he's in charge. When a leader has to say, I'm the leader here, get behind me, I'm the leader, I'm the leader. I'm the leader. I'm the leader. You're not the leader. You're not leading when you have to tell people you're leading, you know. So I thought that the message was, I'm pleased. Merry Christmas. It's nice to hear that he's doing well,
Mm.
but I didn't care. I have no care left in me for him. And that's a really big deal because I was so excited. I'm in the crowd. I'm at the front of the robe yelling out, Your Majesty, over here, over here.
Hmm.
This, and now I'm talking like this. Well, they're all self-inflicted wounds. So I didn't care about his message. Great. It's great. People are getting screened. Oh, that's fantastic. But I don't care. I really don't care.
Sorry,
You've
Catherine.
you've had your rant there, Catherine. You don't care, yeah. Just like all of us here, it's been a bit of a disappointment because all of these things we've wanted to see them happen. They
Mm.
haven't happened, and so for some reason, now it is taking what it is taking for things to pan out the way they are. With Andrew now, if he had been got off that website long time ago, this thing dealt with long time ago, we couldn't have seen the magnitude of things that are happening now. Okay.
I mean,
Uh,
I'm
will
the
be,
American on the panel here, but I think the Prince Andrew stuff scandal is
Yes.
really bad for the royal
yeah,
family. And I'm
it is.
American,
And now
I
I
but
know
agree with
Lisa,
you.
Lisa
it's
asked
not
a
it's not
question here, but I
not a
would
good
like to
thing.
start with this one here because it was Catherine was still talking about it. It
Still
is
ranting.
Charles trying to end the monarchy, so he does go down in history as the last monarch rather than in the weak king between two strong monarchs.
It's
And
actually not
that's a good
outside the
question
realm.
there. Yes, yeah.
Look, it's
He-
not outside the realm of
But
possibility because when people are very sick and
mm,
they're receiving treatment for something like cancer, they do change. They change, and sometimes their decision making is also questionable. But I don't think his decisions over Prince Andrew are related to that. I think it goes down to his very nature of trying to be, the great
mm,
big peacemaker. But Aspie is right. I think this scandal with Andrew is worse than we're really realizing because
Hmm.
the UK media are not fully covering it. they don't want to fully cover it because they don't want to lose their access.
Well, in
Hmm.
the US, it's being talking about more because they're releasing more files of, I don't want to say his name because, I don't want your
Hmm.
channel to get, striked or anything, but you know who we're talking about.
Yeah.
Pictures of former presidents doing, you know, scandalous stuff.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
and they're talking about Andrew also. So it's
yeah.
not good. It really isn't good.
But
No,
yeah,
it's not good.
It's
And the
not.
but
longer it
he
goes on, Aspie, the longer it
he.
goes on, the more
Hmm.
fragile the monarchy
Hmm.
becomes.
Mm,
Yeah,
yeah, and the monarchy plays a very strong role in the
Mm.
existence of Britain.
it
You know, it's
does.
it's actually what Britain is being known for. You know,
Mm.
the royal family, Queen Elizabeth, all
I
the
mean,
past kings and all
all
of
the
that.
tourists that
Take
come to the
that
UK,
away, absolutely. Take
like,
that away, the British, the Britain will not have the same capacity it holds around the world.
why do
Okay.
tourists visit the UK? They think of the
Because of the
royal
royal.
family.
Yeah, absolutely. Buckingham
They,
Palace racks
yeah.
up hundreds of thousands of millions of pounds in
Yep.
tourism. Okay. Look at all of these visits we see, the palace dinners, Buckingham
Hmm.
Palace garden parties, what are they called? The Remembrance Sunday events,
Yeah.
Catherine Princess of Wales's Together at Christmas, carol services, all of these, the King's birthday parades, these are the huge events on the calendar of Britain that attract
Mm.
many tourists and world's attention more than anything. Not because we have Keir Starmer as prime minister or whatever.
Oh God.
They are
Yeah.
not; those are not even known. Everybody knows the King, knows Prince William, because these are people who not only serve communities, in more meaningful ways, but also they hold the traditions of this country
Hmm.
really, really strongly.
Yeah.
So take them
Yeah.
out, it's like washing away all the British traditions.
Yeah.
So I can't see a King Charles being the last one, or if he's trying to weaken this system so he becomes the last king. I'm afraid that's not going to happen. People here really want to see this monarchy go on for years and
Yes.
years, and
Yeah.
they are looking far into Prince George now. They're even looking
Hmm.
past Prince William to starting to imagine a King George. Okay.
Well,
I
you're
That's
didn't.
right.
how invested.
I
Yeah.
Yeah.
didn't know
Yeah.
that George was so popular.
Yeah,
Well,
oh, it's
I'm not from the UK,
extremely,
but okay,
extremely popular.
that's great to hear.
Wait and he gets his girlfriend and the engagement, like William
Yes.
and
Oh,
Yeah.
Catherine engaged.
Yeah.
Wait and see how the world will go on its
Hmm.
knees on Prince
Yeah.
George's engagement, introducing his girlfriend with the rings that
Hmm.
that Catherine and whatever will pass on to him.
Right.
Okay, so
Yeah. Yeah.
Joe, I get your point there. That is Charles purposely trying to do so. Well, if he is, he's not gonna manage. He's not
I
gonna.
don't think he will. No,
Yeah, yeah,
I agree with everything you said, Francis. And I
yeah.
do think when I saw William in Brazil, I thought, wow, look at him. Because last year he was on his own. Catherine was still in recovery, and he looked a little bit down. You know, he was on his
Hmm.
own, and he didn't have his star power on his arm. He just looked a little bit like that. But last time for the Earth Shot, when he was in Brazil, he looked fantastic. He was self-assured. He was, walking tall,
Hmm.
and then when he stood for the photo call in front of the Christ the Redeemer, and it evoked memories of when Diana and Charles were there, it just reminded everyone who he is,
Hmm, hmm.
Yeah.
And now what he's done after the Passage charity with his son George, he released a photo of him with his mother at the Passage. There's
Yeah.
Diana
Yeah.
with the
Yeah.
two people, and there's William. It's like, eat your hat, Harry. Just go and sit down. And
Hmm.
when you see that, and then
Hmm.
you look over here, and he's this amazing young boy, I thought the same about George as I did when I saw William in Brazil. I thought, oh, the future's in good hands. It's in good
Yeah.
hands, you know.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
he's got a lot of rebuilding to do.
it's a
That's
lot of
there's no
rebuilding to
question.
do, yes.
Yeah.
But I think when William steps on that throne, things will start to go down in a more positive way. Because you
Yes.
can't, Catherine, if the impact she's making
Yes.
as the Princess of Wales, you know, can you imagine that
Mm.
impact when she becomes the Queen Consort? Okay.
Yeah.
And this is not what we are seeing with King Charles, because King Charles is pretty much up there on his own in terms of the limelight. Camilla is not, people haven't tuned so much into her, and that alone
No.
has
Hmm.
weakened this
Well,
reign.
I,
But
I, I,
William coming in, you're gonna have two powerhouses,
Yeah.
all with
Yeah.
their likability sitting up there, and that is going to sweep everyone off their feet.
Yes,
you
you're
know,
right.
it's like when Charles was coronated. I don't mean to sound mean. I'm just being honest here. In my mind, a little bit, I was like, oh, I wish Diana would have been there. You know,
Hmm.
because she
It
did
would
all
have
the
been
work.
a
But
lot more different than it is
but you
now.
know,
Okay.
history was different. So
What it was, yes, yeah,
so
and that's why we really want to see a Princess of Wales come to fruition this time round, because it
yeah,
hasn't come to fruition in a long time.
yeah.
Okay, so today, this time round, Catherine, if Catherine doesn't sit on that throne, I don't think there will ever be a Princess of Wales who will sit on it. It will be a bad omen in the royal family.
Hmm, yeah.
Okay. So we are crossing our fingers here, praying that Catherine
Yes.
gets to that moment
Guys, I'm
and
sorry. I don't
restore.
mean to interrupt. He's getting a little antsy, my dog now, so I'm gonna have to step down because
Okay, you're
I'm gonna have
stepping
to take him
down.
outside. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Okay,
all right.
okay.
Yeah,
It's all
that's all
right.
right.
We will be finishing soon as well.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Yeah, you hear him?
yes,
Yeah.
he's been
Yeah.
patient enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry,
Okay.
guys.
See
No
ya.
worries.
I'll see you. Bye.
Bye
Okay, then
bye.
we catch up with you.
Bye.
Yes, yeah. Bye. Yeah. So yeah, Catherine.
Yeah,
So,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry I was so sad because I don't like to criticize someone when they're not well, you know, and but I'm so disappointed, like beyond anything I ever imagined. But I will say this in his defense, and I have to say this because, you know, I really went to town there.
mm,
But the Queen was a hard act to follow. You
mm,
know, who would want to be the next monarch after her reign, 70
mm,
years? And we all, you know, everyone's turned out for her final jubilee. Like, who would want to follow in those footsteps? So,
mm,
in that respect, the king did have a hard act to follow. But I will say, I think in the first year he really tried to be quiet and ease his way in. But now I think he's doubling down on everything he believes in because he knows his days are shorter than he had originally believed they would be. And
mm,
he's doubling down on everything. Everything he believes in, he's doubling down on it. And he's
mm,
feeling like, I've got to put my mark down now. And that's why it worries me because he's not going to be dissuaded.
mm.
If there was any hint of him listening to public opinion, he wouldn't have had the York girls at the Christmas. He would have insisted they be with their father instead
Mm.
of leaving them alone. Why did they leave their father alone? Like,
Exactly. Yeah.
what the hell is going on there? But
Mm.
the fact that he is restoring them back into royal duties is so out of touch with public sentiment because every time they see those girls, because those girls are
It
not
brings back
clean.
the memories of their father. Yeah,
They're
absolutely.
not
Yeah.
clean.
Mm.
They've received gifts, they've received monies, from various people around the world, and they're not clean. They've had money laundered through the daughters. So if any investigation is ever undertaken in respect to the girls, this is going to blow back on Charles because
Yeah, it
he's
is.
restored them back into royal life.
It is, yeah. And this is where I thought William makes more farmer decisions because I don't think William would have made that decision, would have made, I mean, accepted things to be that way, but again, king, he's the king, like you said
We're
earlier, that
stuck
he
with it.
says, yeah, he said, I'm still in charge, so I make my decisions. But
Yeah.
yes, those girls would be kept aside. They would be sent to go and spend Christmas with their father, and not isolate him in the way he is. And I think all of what he's doing now, according to how I've been reading around as well, is just to do with trying to prove that he's doing a lot, to resolve this. But I think it's backfiring in many ways. There is a
I
question
agree.
here from Lisa, says, why do you think Harry had himself introduced as Harry Wales? Did he have himself recently introduced?
Yeah.
Because I know before his father, obvious, before he married, he had his father's name because his father is the Prince of Wales at the time, the king. But that since stopped, when he got married and he became the Duke of Sussex. But we know Harry still wants to keep himself as close as he can to the royals because, this is where all his biscuits come from. In case, things don't go as planned, he knows where he can always run to. So he wants to
Yeah.
still stay as close as he can.
But is he a Wales? I don't think
Yeah.
he is a Wales anymore, is he?
No, he isn't anymore. But it's the same thing we're seeing with Meghan Markle in being introduced as Meghan Duchess of Sussex. We know, yes, but she's not supposed to be. If she's turning up at events that are not in any capacity representative of the royal family, she's
Yeah.
not supposed to be even introduced at all as the Duchess of Sussex. Even Prince Harry, because they are not serving. Those titles are supposed to be silent. They're not supposed to use them. Wherever they go, they're supposed to be Meghan and Harry, not to be Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Those introductions are definitely breaking all the codes. They're not supposed to be used.
Do
But
you
again,
think
these are.
he do you think he called himself Wales to poke the bear, to, have a poke at William? Because the thing is, it doesn't matter what he tries to do, he can't get any reaction out of William whatsoever. So do you think maybe that's why he did it? What
He's
what, what was
trying.
his reason?
He's always trying. With them, Harry, you never know what they actually want. Because at one point he wanted to be introduced as Spencer's, and he wanted to adopt the Spencer's name, didn't he?
Yeah,
Again, so he does
yeah.
things either out of frustration or out of wanting to. Right. Let's see if they're gonna come back. They're gonna throw something back at us for doing this. It's you never know what they're up to all the time, but there is a reason behind their every motive for of
Yeah,
doing
well,
things.
it just all it does is communicate instability. Like they're
Mm.
really unstable. They were Archie well one minute, now they're Archie well humanitarian something or other. Who knows? And one minute she's this, and the next minute, oh no, don't you know I'm Sussex now? She says on a cooking show. And now he's calling himself Wales. It's everything with them changes with the wind, and that's not very stable. Whereas
It's not very
the
stable. They're so
no,
so out of
yeah,
touch with what's going on here.
mm,
He told us last time that he exchanged his royal diary, his diary with the king, so that
mm,
his activities don't collide with the activities of the royal family. Well, that was a lie to me, the way I see it, because we are seeing them staging activities which are sort of colliding with the royal family in many ways. He's traveling here at the same time King Charles is hosting a state dinner. He's putting out stories here at the same time. William is attending it, has short prizes. So what sort of royal calendar was he talking about when he said that part of my meeting with my father was to try and sync our calendars so we don't collide in our activities. That was a lie. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, that's actually a
So,
really good point,
yeah,
Francis.
so you never believe in what they say. They're just so out of date with everything they are doing. Again, this year, they didn't bother inviting them across for the Christmas gathering. They will never be invited anyway, since they stepped away from the royal family. Yeah. And then they are going around talking about love, kindness at Christmas, family, when Megan can't even tune in with her own dad who is going through a very challenging time. Okay, and we hear she's sending out an email which goes unanswered, and now she's wrote a handwritten personal note, and now she's talking about she doesn't have any contacts with her father, not even a mobile phone to talk to her father. Again, showing how very disgruntled that side of things is with her family, and how she's getting on with them. So how can she tell people that this Christmas is about family and kindness and love when she's not preaching it in her own family? So Megan, Harry, they are just in their own small world where they are. And that's
Yeah,
why I hesitate bringing them into my royal news conversations now, because
yeah.
there's no point at all, really, is there?
Well, I mean, I know that, see, I've tried to cut this year, haven't covered them as much. You know, I like the whales and I hope things, I hope that they have a really fruitful reign and they're able to restore and steady the reputation of the royal family. Um, but that I just made a decision at the beginning of this year. I was going to focus on them and or on issues like the scandal over Prince Andrew. But I just did every now and again I'd put something up about the Sussex. But
Mm,
there's plenty of people, plenty of YouTubers who are doing that, and I just prefer to let them. That's their lane. I don't want to be talking about them all the time because they're so boring. They're
mm,
so boring. The other thing is too, I'm not saying I don't follow news about them, but I don't want to always be talking about them. But the other thing is, Harry is not looking good.
mm.
He's not looking good. He looks stoned all the time. He's on drugs. He went off playing polo recently. He looks so unfit.
Mm,
He doesn't look good. So consequently, I don't want I don't want to wake up one morning and there's really bad news about Harry or something. In my last video, I was criticizing him. I don't want to do that. So they're so stupid, those two. And this scandal with their father has really, I don't think they're going to be able to recover from it because people don't care. Like, I'm not saying that people are insensitive to maybe your needs and you feel your father betrayed you, but when someone has a foot and the lower part of their leg amputated, people expect you to be humane about it and go and visit your father. But she sends a letter across with some security guards and she wanted it to be videoed when it was being delivered. Give me a break. Like this woman, she's such a sociopath. She is really vulgar. Her conduct is ugly and it misrepresents the royal family. You would never see the royal family behaving like these two. And that's why I think he's trying to use Wales. So one of the comments in your chat said he just wants to try and monetize off the Wales name, because it's such high currency at the moment with Catherine and William. But I also think he's just trying to get a reaction out of his brother. It's not going to happen. William's not going to react to his brother. It doesn't matter what he does. So,
mm.
I don't want to report on them. I'm sick of them. I was sick of them at the
Yeah,
beginning of
yeah.
this year.
Oh, yes, yes. It's just pointless talking about them because they've never preached what they've never lived what they preach.
Mm, mm,
They are very. I think those two are in it for business. I think
yeah,
there's
yeah,
nothing in there for them. Everything we see playing out in front of us with the holding of hands is all acting. Okay, we know Meghan
mm,
Markle is from an acting background, so she can put on a show. Every time she steps out. But I don't think there is anything meaningful going on behind the scenes that makes them a powerhouse as a couple.
no,
She's fronting her own businesses as ever. Where is Harry in those businesses? You don't see him. She doesn't even have a page that she shares. I mean, she's as ever. She follows nobody else. She doesn't follow the royal family. The royal family is sharing their businesses. Okay, if they have a link to the Sussex businesses as ever, but she doesn't even follow the royal family. That she's telling us she's a Duchess of Sussex, but look at the people she follows as ever. Nobody doesn't follow the royal family, and so she is in it for her own self-interest. She's using
mm,
the royal family to get to where she is,
mm,
which is very, very sad. Harry is where you fail to see where Harry actually falls into her businesses. Where is she? Where's Harry? So definitely Harry's being used in my way of looking at it, isn't it? She's getting to
mm,
all these
mm.
places because she's married to him, yet we don't see him so heavily involved in what she does, which is very, very sad. Hmm.
Well,
Now,
they are very sad, and I think, we get frustrated the royal family haven't removed their business link from the royal website. I think deep down it's as simple as the royal family don't want to appear to be spiteful. They want to seem to be, this is classic King Charles. He wants to be seen to be above the fray and
hmm.
doesn't want to get down and play in the mud with them. So, and it would be coming from King Charles. So, but that will change when William comes to the throne.
Oh, yes, yes. That's why they're panicking. They're panicking
Yes.
to try as much as possible to get whatever they can when King Charles is still on that
Mm,
throne. Hi,
mm.
Becky. Good to see you. Thank you so much, our dear friends in the comments, and for staying around with us, listening to these conversations as we're tuning into the Royal News updates. We are talking about stories that have been trending in the royal news world. King Charles's cancer updates recently, the Prince of Wales stepping out with Prince George, visiting a charity recently. Catherine, Princess of Wales's Christmas Carol service, which went on really, really well. I attended that in London the other
Mm.
day. It's very cold, but I didn't even feel the cold when I was delivering those updates. And of course, we are talking about the Christmas period for the royals. They will be traveling down to Sandringham for the church service at St. Margaret's Church. And, the royal family, as they do usually meet annually for that Christmas gathering, all
Mm.
royals there, but Meghan and Harry not invited as always because they still can't be trusted.
No.
And then we are also talking about Meghan Markle's shenanigans with her father, not even being compassionate enough during times when her father would need her that much. Leg amputation, that is a massive, massive procedure in someone's life. You'd imagine this man who was there for Meghan Markle, paid for her fees, saw her grow up when her mother went Mia for a lot of years. and she cannot pay back to her father during these difficult times. But instead, she's saying she sends emails. This man is in 81 years. She expects him to go and check his emails when he's just had a leg amputated.
So it's just absurd. Look,
Okay.
you know, a lot of people don't like the Markle family, and for a lot
Yes.
of good
Yeah.
reason, right?
Mm,
Because,
mm,
but you know, when Fergie's father hit the limelight when she married Andrew, he went all a bit wild too, you know, went a bit weird because they're thrown into a spotlight that they're not prepared for. So, you know, a lot of people come down hard on Thomas Markle. You know, he shouldn't have gone to the press, but I believe he was set up.
mm,
And it was deliberate ploy because she didn't want him at the wedding and she was trying to make him look bad. Who does that? And
mm,
now, and
mm.
now when he's suffered an amputation, people see it. These two, they're not coming back from it. They're not coming back from this. And I think the real loser in this is Harry.
His
He's the real
Harry,
loser.
yeah,
Yeah.
Harry is it? I mean, those two would Harry would have done a lot for the royal family if he
Yeah.
was there, and he chooses to walk away and
Mm.
leave his brother single-handedly, Prince William, to deal with what he is now dealing with. William has supported his father. William supported his mother. I mean, grandmother, Queen Elizabeth throughout her difficult and last days of the monarchy, where Harry went on and delivered that, bombshell interview, Oprah Winfrey
Mm.
with wife Meghan, which did not help the royal family at all. We can actually sit here today and say that a lot of the problems the royal family have been facing came from that Oprah Winfrey
Yes.
interview.
Yes.
Yes. So, and then that was followed by that bombshell book of his, what was his tale or memoir? Okay.
Spare.
Again, spare. All, I think these are all the problems that are tormenting the royal family as we speak right now. There you go, you've got the book.
Oh no,
Yes. Yeah.
don't hold it
Yeah.
against me, Dan. So don't hold it against me. I've got the
Yes.
Andrew book over on my coffee table.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean,
So,
you know, some of the things he said in
yeah.
that book, like,
Absolutely. And we
oh,
still have him sitting on the royal family website. No
yeah,
way. No way
but
will
that's King
William see that.
Charles.
Yeah.
No, that's King Charles. It's
Okay.
that. That's it. We know, we can see the way the king operated with Andrew, so we know that the website and them being on the website as well as their business. This is all King Charles,
The
and he
business is
will,
being
yeah, everything. He'll never have
everything.
the stomach to deal with those two. He hasn't got it in him.
Yeah. So anyway, we are going to be finishing this today. Lisa asked, "What was Queen Elizabeth considered the Princess of Wales?" No, Queen Elizabeth was never that.
No.
Um, no, because Queen Elizabeth was actually the Duchess of Edinburgh at the time.
Oh,
Duchess of
that's right.
Edinburgh. Yes,
Yes.
she was Duchess of Edinburgh. She was never meant to be the Queen, but her brother, George? Is it George this seventh? Was meant to be the king after their dad, but he abdicated, didn't he? So after
Yes. Yes.
abdicating, then that is how Queen Elizabeth became the queen. She was never meant to be the queen.
Mm.
Okay, yes. She was the Duchess of Edinburgh at the
Ah.
time. Yeah, but following her brother's abdication, I think she ran away with a woman. He ran away with a woman, so he abdicated, and the throne fell to Queen Elizabeth at the age of 25 when her
Mm.
dad died. Her dad did not resign, her father died.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, yeah. So that's how she became the queen. And see how she went on to make one of the best queens ever. I don't think we shall see one in many years because we know the next one is a King William, and after William we have a King George. Okay, and so the only way we can have a queen after William is if George abdicates. Okay, and then Charlotte becomes the queen.
Yes.
That's the
She'd be
only way.
fantastic.
Yes.
She would be a
Okay.
fantastic monarch. Yeah, she's
Yeah.
like her aunt, Princess Anne. She's so like her.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you very much, Lily, for that.
Hi,
Where?
Lily.
Hi, Lily. Where have you been today? You joined us quite late for the show. Thank you so much for that support. Very, very grateful for all of you who have been on here. Becky says, yes, Queen was the best queen indeed. Foxy, thank you so much for being here. Always. By the way, Foxy has his channel.
Oh, thanks, Foxy.
Yeah,
I'm
Foxy,
sorry
thanks.
I ranted. He said it was a
Yeah.
wonderful live stream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank
I
you. Thank
feel a
you.
bit mortified.
Yeah,
Mm.
I must say sorry, Fox. Every time you go on live, there's something going on down here. I'm doing something, but I would love to come on your live streams and join the wonderful community you usually have on your live streams. And Foxy doesn't live far away from me. Actually, he lives in Brighton. Is it Brighton, Foxy? Is that Brighton where you live? Brighton and
Oh,
Hove?
I love his I love some of his videos. They're so
Yeah, your
interesting.
videos and the
Yeah,
buses in Brighton. We
yeah,
love what you're doing
yeah.
on your channel, Foxy. Very well done. Yeah. But a lot of our friends on here have been with us since day one, Catherine.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's been
Uh,
great.
Great. Is Becky based in Canada? How is Canada, Becky? Sheila is here just joining us. Sheila, Happy New Year and Merry Christmas to, when it arrives, everyone
Happy
with you.
Christmas, Sheila.
Yes, we hope that you've all got everything you need in time for Christmas. We understand it's quite a very challenging, stressful time of the year, but we pray for one thing, good health, good health. So we get into the new year very strong and healthy. Yes. But today's royal news will be coming to a close. Catherine, any of those stories you'd like to talk about more? Have you exhausted?
No, no,
Yeah.
I feel a bit embarrassed with my rant because you were talking to Aspie and I'm thinking, please don't ask me anything. Don't ask me because it's been pent up. But also my friends know me. I was at a dinner recently with just some friends, that I volunteer with, and someone said, what do you think of something? It was something or other for politics. And someone said, oh, don't ask Catherine. And they said, why? They said, because she'll tell you. So when you asked me that question, I'm thinking, no, I don't want to be in this position. Go away. But once I got started, now I'm going to go back because it's going to be worse than I think it is.
Yeah.
Sorry, ladies.
Yeah.
Sorry, gentlemen. I
Yeah.
ranted.
Yeah, no, you've been brilliant on this live stream, and so has Aspi. We had Aspi go a bit earlier today because she had to
Yes,
take Oscar the
Oscar.
dog out for a
Mm.
walk. Yes, but we love you all. Stedman
Yes.
was meant to be on as well with us, but somehow I think she's caught up. But we hope that we will have more of you. If you want to come on the show with us, just drop a comment in this comments section, and we can invite you over onto these live streams because
Yeah, maybe
we
Foxy.
appreciate. Yeah, maybe Foxy would be nice to have you on the show. Okay, Lisa, if you're up to it, Sheila, if you're up to it, just come on. We are more than happy to have all of you. Lily Page, if you fancy coming on one day, Becky, Lady of the Lake, just throw us a message, and then yeah, we could all come and share this stage and talk about our royal news, because this channel is ours, isn't it, Catherine?
Yes, yeah. No, Francis is a very generous host.
Yeah.
I really, you're a very generous host. So we love you. We're very loyal fans, Francis.
Thank you. And Catherine's channel is a Royal
A Royal
Australian.
Australian.
A Royal
Yeah, my
Australian,
YouTube
yes.
and
Yes.
my ex is a Royal Australian and my Substack is a Royal Australian. So I'm not on Facebook. Facebook is for boomers.
Yeah.
It's for
Please
those boomers.
subscribe. Please,
Yeah,
yeah. Check if you're
yeah.
still subscribed. YouTube is sort of unsubscribing people. I've noticed that quite a
Is
lot
it?
recently.
Oh,
Yes. And
resubscribe.
so check Foxy. I think I'm subscribed to yours, and so am I for yours, Catherine. If you have a
Yes.
YouTube channel, our dear friends, that you want us to subscribe to, again, let us know. We are more than happy to follow on your journeys and grow together.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Catherine, when do you think next we can come on live again?
Oh, well, Christmas is on, it's in a couple of days. It's Monday here.
Yes.
Tomorrow, so it's 22nd, 23rd tomorrow. Christmas is Thursday, I think, in Australia.
Yeah,
So
Wednesday here. Yeah, is it Wednesday?
I'm free now.
Yes.
I mean, I've got things to do, but I'm going over to house sit my son's place in a day or two,
Mm.
for a few days. So I can do a live stream anytime if you want to do one before the new year.
For the new
How does
year?
that sound?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, we will go for
yeah,
it. Yeah,
yeah,
definitely. Why not?
yeah.
I've got some time on my hands as well while I'm on
Oh,
holidays.
beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
so
we
once
can tune
Christmas
in.
is out of the way.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. We can get to being more, more regular again.
relaxed. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
agree. I miss it. I really
Hmm.
miss it.
But otherwise, our dear friends, thank you so much for
All
being with
right.
us tonight. We're
Bye,
going to
sweetie
call it a
darlings.
day. Bye. Nice having
Bye.
you all, and let us catch up with you again very soon. Yeah?
Bye, Aspie.
Bye.